I'm going to be honest. It's just hard. It's not easy. It's extremely hard. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
I am okay. It's just hard, like, to balance everything. I be trying my best. My wife be trying my best. We be exhausted.
Yeah. I saw that video and I was like, woo.
Yeah.
Many people are suffering from mental and emotional exhaustion, but hiding it behind perfectionism and performance. We feel guilty for needing rest and pressure ourselves to do it all, often without asking at what cost.
Certified health and wellness coach Kris Lacy joins us now to share practical ways to break the burnout cycle. And I think it's interesting, we were talking in the break, burnout looks different for everybody.
Oh, for sure.
What you perceive as burnout, what I perceive as burnout is very different. So that's kind of hard to tell when people are at their breaking point.
Yeah, you know, it is different for everyone. And this is why we have to spend more time with ourselves to know what our capacity is and what we can actually handle. Because what you can deal with is not what I can deal with. It's also why we have to be careful about comparing ourselves to other people in the seasons that they're in. Because you might be able to, I might see, oh my gosh, you all are so successful or you're doing this. Meanwhile, I have a 4-year-old. I have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old that so I may not have the same capacity as someone whose children are in high school or college. And we have to stay focused on where we are in this specific season of our own lives.
And you were saying like that, so that was Deval Ellis.
Yes.
And he just kind of broke down in that interview because that wasn't the question that was asked of him, and he just like, oh, I just couldn't hold it anymore. I had to let it go. And I think that is impactful in showing that it also impacts the entire family, not just him.
Absolutely, because my thing is, what are we modeling to our children when we are constantly showing up, when we don't feel like it, or when we don't have it to give? We feel like we have to save face all the time. You know, I was working with a group of young people recently, shout out to Yida, and the middle schoolers there, they were saying that one of their biggest challenges is this pressure to perform for everybody else, to get it right all the time. And so we're kind of inadvertently showing that to our kids, that they have to always show up, they have to always be perfect, and if you're not, I'm not enough. But that's so untrue. Also, it's human. Right?
Yeah.
It's the human experience, and we have to make space for that.
It's funny you say that, because last week I felt horribly guilty, but my twins came home from school and it was soccer. They had soccer practice. I go, hey, you guys want to go to soccer practice? Because mommy doesn't want to go. And they stayed and just played outside. And I felt really guilty, and I was like, I just did not go to that right now.
Yeah, no, and that's not a good that you did a great job. I'm proud of you. That's great. And you gave the kids the opportunity. Again, like, we have to take breaks and make room for resting and resetting. If I'm performing over and nonstop, then eventually I'm gonna fall.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna fall apart. And that's what that whole burnout thing is. But our body tells us, I've had enough. We have to listen to that and respond in the moment.
I think the fear behind people who are so driven is if they do that, then they're giving themselves permission to be lazy.
Yeah.
To slack off.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
No, I get it. I understand. I'm definitely a purpose-driven, mission-driven person. Even being a stay-at-home mom and entrepreneur, I'm like always doing things.
Yeah.
But recently, I had to step down from some really significant roles in my life because I recognized that my health was compromised, time with family was being compromised. What legacy am I leaving? We have to understand that sustainable wellness, it comes with really choosing and being intentional about understanding what your personal capacity is. What can I handle in this season? It's not about being lazy. It's about being honest. And because I'm taking care of myself and being intentional about that, now I will have capacity to do more at a later date.
So how do you build that life around you? Like, we always say it takes a village. What if you don't have a village? Like, how do you make that happen, and what does it look like for individual people?
Yeah, that's good. I am a firm believer that we attract who we are. So I say we start with ourselves. Having a village is really important to me, and I knew that, but I had to realize that I have to be willing to do this certain kind of work in myself and taking care of me. And the more I do that, you start to attract more people who are doing the same thing, who now when I put in a healthy boundary, that person understands because they have healthy boundaries too. They're not forcing me to do something that I don't want to do or makes me uncomfortable, nor are they going to try to make me feel guilty. They truly care about me. But it starts with you having that personal self-compassion. And as you do that, then again, you'll start to show and treat people how to treat you.
Okay, so boundaries is one way. What's some other ways that you can kind of reclaim your your energy, your space, your drive.
That's
you know?
good. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but it's really important that we're doing audits in every season, because what I did 5 years ago may not be working for me in this current season. So doing an audit of what's currently on your plate, does this still work for me? Does this work for my, capacity in this season? And then again, then you move on to having those boundaries, because you can't put boundaries in place if you don't really know what your capacity is. Because if everything is important, everything's important.
Right.
No, everything's not important in every season. But then the other thing is you want to prioritize rest and reset. That's actually the second step in my burnout recovery framework. And when you do that, just 10 minutes throughout the day, a few times a day, will help to kind of reset. We're constantly on social media. We're constantly attached to phones and notifications, going on a 10-minute walk on your break.
Yeah.
Just those few minutes of quiet time to yourself will allow your brain to kind of reset throughout the day, so you're not constantly feeling pulled on. We're not giving ourselves that permission throughout the day to just chill out.
Gotta prioritize yourself a little bit.
For sure.
Thank you so much. There's so much we get into. We
I
appreciate
know.
it.
There's so much to talk about. Okay.
For more information, visit krisspeakslife.com.